The Money in the Bank briefcase, something that not even the WWE legends and Hall of Famers, not every single one of them have the privilege of obtaining, climbing up the ladder and grabbing the briefcase for an opportunity of winning a world championship in the WWE. Now with Money in the Bank just 2 weeks away, who will be the superstar that is granted and earning this opportunity of winning a world championship and potentially elevating their career to new heights, or possibly even reviving their career to something that they thought they could never even imagine of happening and possibly career changing? In this video, I will be talking about two specific superstars, one on the men's ladder match side of who will win the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, and then also one for the women's side of things, who will be the woman in the WWE to obtain the briefcase and to become possibly a future world champion. Now, before we start out anything, everyone please drop a comment down below, drop a like, and subscribe to the channel. I try my best to post daily WWE content and just wrestling content in general. So what are we doing? Let's stop wasting time here. Let's talk about these two superstars that could have career-changing moments in just 2 weeks by winning this Money in the Bank briefcase. Let's talk about it right now. I will start out on the men's side of things. I will start out who will win the men's Money in the Bank briefcase. I feel like there's a lot of different opportunities here, right? I think we can easily name someone like Carmelo Hayes, a young guy who has so much talent and potential. You could even say like Austin Theory, someone who feels like he's just one major push away or a babyface turn away from becoming a top star in the future of the WWE. Maybe, I know he already won the Money in the Bank briefcase, but we've had people win it twice. We've had CM Punk win it twice. We've had a few other guys, I believe, win it twice. I can't think of them off the top of my head without researching it, but let's talk about who I think could benefit the most by winning the WWE Money in the Bank briefcase for the men's match. I gotta go with Karrion Kros. Karrion Kros has been trying his best, not even trying his best, he's been doing his best work in the most limited amount of minutes on television, on WWE Monday Night Raw, and even on this past WrestleMania at WrestleMania 41 in the AJ Styles and Logan Paul match. He made his appearance there, and I feel like a lot of people actually forget that he was the main part of the ending of that match, where Karrion Kros was trying to help decide for AJ Styles to use the brass knuckles and defeat Logan Paul for the sake of all the wrestlers in the back and in the locker room and all the professional wrestling fans. At this point, ever since that happened, it seemed like WWE was going to push this guy. And then after the WrestleMania 41 show was over for night 2, Karrion Kros went on to have this to say about his current state in the WWE.
And the crowd told you exactly how they felt about me on SmackDown when I was eliminated, and you ignored it. Become undeniable. My ass. My ass. That's from Killer Kross. No. Fuck it.
Karrion Kros, I think it was a shoot. I think what he said in the podcast was a shoot. I definitely feel like Karrion Kros had to agree on some term with Triple H and the rest of the WWE, like behind the scenes, before him lashing out like that. But everything that he said was so true. The man is being told to be undeniable. And then now the crowd loves him and they want to see him on WWE. And now they don't want to use him. And if they do use him, he's like a background stooge for other people's segments of him selling t-shirts to the New Day in the background. When that's 3 weeks after WrestleMania 41, where it seemed like they were going to push Karrion Kros and actually have him in a storyline with AJ Styles. Now AJ Styles is in a tag team match with Penta on Monday Night Raw facing the Judgment Day. Now, from when I'm recording this video and by the time this video comes out, I hope Karrion Kros is involved in that match and the ending. I hope he ruins it for AJ Styles, because Karrion Kros, they have so many established things for him right now. I mean, just the AJ Styles thing alone, or you could even have him go against Logan Paul. Maybe he can settle the business that AJ Styles couldn't do and have Karrion Kros finish it for AJ Styles and beat Logan Paul. It seems like they're almost dodging pushing Karrion Kross. And now that Kross is actually over, which was one of the most talked about things when it comes to Karrion Kross as he came back to the main roster, it was so hard to have the crowd care about Karrion Kross. And I don't think it was so much him. I think it was so much the opportunities that he was being given and the amount of time that he had to really showcase how good Karrion Kross is as a character and also in-ring ability. WWE, I don't think they're recognizing how much the fans want to see Karrion Kross be pushed to the moon. And also, Kross is such a unique character. He's not like your typical cookie-cutting babyface or heel. And that's why I think I would love to see him as the Money in the Bank holder. He would bring such a unique character arc to being a briefcase holder. Like, we've seen Tiffany Stratton and Damian Priest having so many false cash-ins, and like WWE constantly made them look like a fool of their character when it comes to Tiffany Stratton and Damian Priest when they were the Money in the Bank briefcase holders. I think Karrion Kross would bring a whole new perspective on how WWE would book Karrion Kross as the Money in the Bank briefcase holder. I don't think he would have all these false attempt cash-ins running out to so many different matches and like getting interrupted, like he's about to cash in and then like someone's gonna like, you know, interrupt and hit him to where he can't cash in. Karrion Kross, he's such a good character worker, dude. He's so good. In WWE, I think they see it, but I don't know. I don't understand. And I feel like LA Knight was in a similar situation 2 years ago at the Money in the Bank, where LA Knight was so over and like it was the peak of LA Knight hype, right? And LA Knight was in the Money in the Bank match, and then they had LA Knight lose to Damian Priest. Now, I'm not saying Damian Priest didn't deserve it, but if you want to ride the hype train, and especially when it's at the peak of all peak, you gotta use it before, like someone like LA Knight, he was just getting that over hype. Like there was no one more over than LA Knight during that time when he was in that Money in the Bank ladder match. And then they had him lose, which was cool. They had him go against Roman Reigns, but we knew that him beating Roman Reigns was not going to happen at all. We knew that Roman was not going to lose to someone like LA Knight. But a Money in the Bank briefcase, that leads to so many different opportunities now. I feel like someone like LA Knight, and the same case in this situation, Karrion Kross, they could have been such good Money in the Bank winners. And I really hope Kross is the men's winner for the Money in the Bank briefcase, because this could change Karrion Kross's future in the WWE. This could be a career-changing thing. This can lead him to more opportunities to get TV time. This could be more opportunities to have him on a PLE. When was the last time we saw Karrion Kross on a WWE PLE? This could be career-changing, and I think if they miss this and they fumble on this decision, I could see Karrion Kross being a part of the next releases for the WWE, because I don't think that they're going to use him if they don't put him in the main slot for this Money in the Bank match. Now for the women's side of things, and I'm currently wearing her shirt right now, and I got her signed shirt and I got the signed turnbuckle right behind me. I got Bayley. Look, guys, where has Bayley been? Bayley is one of the top. I don't care what anyone says. Like, a lot of people, you know, they change their lists every now and then, like the recency bias. Bayley is one of the top women stars in the WWE. There's no doubt about it. When it comes to in-ring wise, some people might talk about her character and like say that she's very bland and boring, but like everyone has their own opinion, right? But the disrespect that Bayley has been getting over the course of the last year and a half, really.
Yeah, what the heck, guys?
You could go back all the way to last year's WrestleMania, where she had such a groundbreaking moment. She won the Royal Rumble. Everything was looking like it was going to be such career-changing back just a year ago for Bayley. She won the championship. She beat Io Sky at WrestleMania 40. And then it looked like Bayley, they were going to give her a great, deserving, well-earned title run that she really hasn't had since the COVID era when she was the double champ on Friday Night SmackDown. But they did nothing with her as champion. And like, she even discussed it on Chris Van Vliet's podcast not too long ago, where Bayley was like, she was actually really disappointed that because she thought that she was going to have such a great run as champion. Having a great run as WWE champion doesn't mean that you're going to have a Roman Reigns run where it's 1,316 days. Bayley could have had easily a 90-day reign where she's having just good feuds and matches. They barely put up anyone against Bayley, let alone just having Io Sky go back at Bayley, having a rematch to start off the title reign for Bayley. So many missed opportunities for Bayley even a year and a half ago. Just like with Karrion Kros, a WrestleMania 41 appearance that could have been friggin' substantial for Karrion Kros. Same thing with Bayley. The last time we saw Bayley on TV was the gauntlet match for SmackDown before WrestleMania 41, which was great. That gauntlet match was great. It showcased every woman in the tag team division, and they all stand out. They all had a great match between all the women that were in that gauntlet match. Actually, we don't even get to WrestleMania 41, and then Bayley's pulled off the card from a injury. Obviously, it's a part of a storyline. It's not actually Bayley getting hurt. But how are you going to advertise Bayley on the card for WrestleMania 41, and then you pull her literally the day before her match? She's in Vegas. She's literally expecting to be a part of the match, and then she's pulled off the card, and currently to this very day that I'm recording this, and probably when this video gets uploaded, Bayley hasn't shown her face since the gauntlet match before WrestleMania 41. What are they doing with Bayley? I'm not going to lie, I highly doubt that they're repackaging Bayley and having her come back to be this other character. I'm concerned, and her contract is up in, I think, a year, and this is how they're gonna go towards the end of Bayley's contract. I think her winning the Money in the Bank could potentially not only have us secure Bayley for another good 4 years, a renewed contract. I think if they don't do anything with Bayley here, I don't see Bayley re-signing in 2026, and rightfully so. You can even go back to promotioning wise. When Bayley was champion, she's not even on the poster. She wasn't even on the poster for WrestleMania 40 when she was the Royal Rumble winner. They had non-champions and non-title competing superstars on the promotion for WrestleMania 40, and Bayley wasn't on it, and she was competing for one of the main titles in the company. And Bayley discussed that in the CVV podcast just a few weeks ago as well. Everything that Bayley was basically saying, like, she was saying how grateful, obviously, that she is to be in the position that she currently is in. Like I said earlier in the video, one of the top women stars, and honestly one of the top stars in the WWE. Bayley is a future Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about it. One of the 4 horsewomen, and the accolades alone, there's no doubt about that. It's just really sad to see, like, especially recently. I'm sure a lot of other people have seen this too, like, the disrespect that, the lack of booking that Bayley gets, and then compared to Becky, like Becky taking her spot. And when Bayley and Lyra were establishing this actual tag team, and then like they had Becky come back and replace Bayley, and now Bayley hasn't been seen ever since. Like, that's crazy to me. And then we have Charlotte Flair, and I'm not discrediting any of these women, right? I'm not discrediting Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Good for them. Everything that I talk about when it comes to a superstar's current position in the company, it's because of WWE. I don't know what WWE is doing. If I'm WWE and I see one of the legends that I currently have on the women's roster that could potentially leave the company because we're not booking her right, and we're pulling her off a WrestleMania card, and that's not the only reason why I think Bayley should win the Money in the Bank briefcase. I think it's also time that they do it right for Bayley. Let's give her a good run as the briefcase holder, and let's finally do it right like what they did with Io Sky. Io Sky, they did a bad job with her first WWE Women's title run. Now they actually are paying Io Sky back forgiveness and giving her a great title run that she currently is on. I thought that's what was going to happen at WrestleMania 40 when Bayley won the Women's Championship against Io Sky, but they did nothing with her. I think the Money in the Bank briefcase in this upcoming Money in the Bank is make or break for Bayley on if she even stays with the company after 2026. I really do hope that Bayley and Karrion Kross are the upcoming winners of this upcoming Money in the Bank PLE. This was my pitch for having these two stars make even bigger stars out of themselves by potentially winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. Let me know down in the comments below, do you agree with these two selections that I have to who I want to win the Money in the Bank briefcase coming up? Do you have someone different? Let me know down in the comments below. Let's have a discussion. As always, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.